Hi, I'm here showing off a magnetometer program that I've written. You'll see the little circle is zipping around and around, and what this is doing is I have a TI SensorTag, which is a cute little like IoT doohickey. It has a bunch of sensors on it, and it communicates via Bluetooth towards my laptop. And one of the sensors it has on it is a magnetometer. And in the past, I've just printed out. I've had programs that just print out the X, Y, and Z value, and I sort of finished with there. Well, I got some questions recently from one of my nice customers, and he wanted to know more about how the magnetometers were working and whether there were issues. And it turns out there are issues, and I've sent him an email about what some of those are. They're easy to work around. But I also thought I wanted to actually explore, like, what are the values coming from the magnetometer? How useful are they in a program, and how can I use them myself in other programs? And I've learned a bunch of stuff. Let me show you off what this program is doing. What I'm doing right now is I'm rotating the magnetometer, which is a little sensor, and I'm just rotating it and I'm keeping it flat. That's very important. As I rotate it, the magnetometer picks up an X, Y, and Z values. Now I ignore the Z value, I just use the X and Y value because it's flat, it's in one plane. And it tells me the magnetic flux in that direction that's impacting on the little sensor chip, which I then display directly. And that's the little sort of lozenge on the left and the lozenge underneath, the green one, the sort of torpedo-y kind of things with the gray dots. And the gray dot is the actual, like, on the case of the one going back and forth, on the bottom is the X value, and the one going up and down is the Y value. So a couple of quick learnings that I've had on this. Number one, you have to, and this is critical, you must initialize the magnetometer. That is, when your program runs, you can't just say, oh, I know what flux values I'm expecting, because it turns out the flux values are actually different everywhere on the planet Earth. So you can't just write a program once and then it's all done. No, the flux values are going to be different. So what I do when this program runs is for about the first 10 seconds, I will look at the incoming X and Y values, and I will set an X min and X max value and a Y min and Y max value to the min and max X and Y values that I ever see. And once I've got those, then every X and Y value that comes in after that gets normalized based on those values. And that seems to work pretty well. But wait, there's another problem. I'm keeping the magnetometer really, really flat. Now watch this. So here it is pointing kind of straight up. Let me rotate it till it's pretty much straight up. So now it's pointing straight up. I'm going to turn the magnetometer, but I'm going to turn it like on its axis. So it's not going to be flat anymore. So here it is pointing, and now I'm going to rotate it, and you can see how much the pointer points. The pointer is flipping all over the place just with me twiddling with the magnetometer, but keeping it pointed in the same direction. This tells us that if we want to use this as a compass, you have to keep it absolutely dead flat. You're not allowed to change its orientation in space. It's got to be flat. You can't tip it up, you can't tip it down, you can't tip it to the left, you can't tip it to the right. It will just not work. So this is the big learnings. Let me show you a little bit about the cool way I've got some stuff running in here. So how do I actually turn the X and Y value into an angle is the most important question. And I got it highlighted right here on in the program. I take the X and Y values, I normalize them so that based on the center and the range. So I get two nice neat values that are similar, both X and Y. And then do an arctangent 2 that takes in a Y value and an X value, and then that just makes a nice little angle. And Y pi over 2 because it gets a nice angle, but it's not X and Y the way the circle is, and I want it to be based on the way the circle is. That gets me my angle. I can then rotate my compass pointer based on the angle. Here you can see the line that says update the vertical min-max and update the horizontal min-max, and those are the things that update the little lozenges. Other than that, I tried to write the program so that, let me show you a little bit. I make a little graphics area, and then everything is based on the size of the graphics. I can be full screen too. I then do it based on have a specific thing for the TI SensorTag. because it's a SensorTag 2541 because that's what I got a question about, and I do a magnetometer setup. This will call a routine called Magnetometer. Every 10 gets me about 10 times a second. And then I also get the buttons, and you click a button and it reinitializes, and you click a different button and it stops. That's the button one. Here's the magnetometer one. So this one is what gets called by the sensor tag, by the system. This function that I've created will be called with the tag and the X and the Y and the Z value. I'll figure out whether I should be doing initialization in the first 10 seconds or not. And then I call an update compass XY value. All right, so I hope you have enjoyed this little quick tour of my little program. This will be available up on public share, so you can use this program yourself in your own code. And it'll also have a little explanation of some of the issues that I ran into with some of the other code in the system, and that code will also be up on a public share, so it can be reused. And thank you very much, and I hope you find it useful.